Right now it's 6:19 a.m. and I was online shopping for iPhone, what is this, the 6S. Now I'm obviously going to buy one for myself, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell my iPhone 6 with all of its equipment on eBay. But instead of just buying one, I'm buying two. And this is obviously the iPhone 6S Plus, and I'm buying two iPhone 6S Plus for 128 gigabyte. Let me point down for a second so you don't see my detailed information, because I don't want you seeing where I live and all that. Confirm reservation. Okay. Says your reservation is now confirmed. So I have the reservation for this thing. So I'm gonna buy two of these 6S's, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go get it. Obviously I'm gonna pay for it. What they do is they swipe your credit card as soon as you get there. So after I buy it, because I'm buying two of the unlocked ones, basically I'm gonna sell one of them on eBay. So basically, if you keep a watch out for me, you'll know that I'm gonna sell one. But please don't send me any messages until like the 25th, because I'm gonna have not only my 6 on eBay, but I'm gonna have the 6S on eBay, and I'm gonna get a couple extra bucks for that 6S because of the fact that the 6S is so hard to get. And what I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna internationally ship anything, because last time you remember, you watched my video, I waited online overnight for the 6, and I actually made a great video of me waiting online for the 6 at the Apple store in what was it? I think it was Manhasset. And that shit was crazy, because the Chinese had their people out there buying up all the phones. I was looking at what's available, and it turned out that all of the rose golds were sold out. Like if we go right here, like if I go back to let's see, Apple. If I go back to the Apple store and I start this entire thing over again, right now, keep in mind it's 6:21. I woke up at 12 a.m. The website was down and you couldn't buy anything at exactly 12 a.m. Then I waited 10 minutes, couldn't buy anything else. Then I waited until 12:30. You couldn't buy anything. The website was down. Like, I just got up. It's 6:22 right now. And like you could see, that's the pre-order button. And when you go to pre-order it, you go to 6S Plus. The 6S Pluses were snatched like almost immediately. Like if you pick, I have a silver one right now, and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna buy a new one, let me get a color that I normally wouldn't have get, and this way, if I get that rose gold, then everybody will know when they see my phone. They'll be like, wait a minute, that's not your regular phone. You got a new phone. But I picked the rose gold one. Went to 128 gigabytes, and for the contract free phone you have to pick T-Mobile, and if you pick the T-Mobile one, it says you gotta pay it in full, $949. So then you click add to bag, right? And this goddamn thing is sold out in the majority of the stores. You have an option of having it shipped to you, but after I waited online for it, I don't want the damn thing shipped to me. I'd rather just drive to the store and pick it up. So what they're doing is they make you have a reservation, and when you have the reservation, you order, or you put up your what is it called? You put up your reservation, and then you have to go to the store, and my reservation time slot is between like 5 and 6. So you have to go between 5 and 6. You go between 5 and 6, and obviously they have a person walk over to you, and the person has one of those scanners which allows them to scan your credit card and allows them to scan the actual box of the phone. So my thing is, I've got two of these phones waiting for me now, and so that means that I've got one for me, and I'm selling one of these on eBay. And in addition to that, I'm selling the phone that I'm holding right now to make this video. So that means that when I make my next video on like the 26th, let's say, my video is going to be 4K, baby, 4K. So, you know, I feel really bad for all those Galaxy fanboys who are really upset because, you know, nobody cares about the product that Samsung's putting out. And it's sad because Samsung sits at the top of the market. So that means that if people don't care about their product, that means that there's like generally a recession in their product. Because the problem is you have to be popular in order for everybody to want to design for your device. Now that this thing is going to have not only 4K video, but it's going to have this force touch, and they're showing you games where you can push the screen and you push and hold it, and now when you push and hold it, it's magic. It's magic. It's like Donald Trump says, it's just magic. So anyway, if you are looking for a space gray 128 gigabyte 6S Plus, let me know. I've already gotten my girlfriend the gold model of that phone, and that'll be coming in the mail. So the rose gold one, she's gonna get the rose gold one. But if you're desperately looking for one of these 6S Pluses that's 128 gigabytes, see, these things are $1,000 fucking dollars, because when you look at it, like, that's another $50 you have to add on for the tax. But if you're really looking for it, come the 25th, when I go to pick these things up, I'm already going to have these things on eBay, so my bids for them will be ending by the time that I actually get it. So if you're one of those people who doesn't mind paying $1,000 or $1,200 or something like that up front, like if you don't mind paying like $100 or $200, I'll give you the link. In fact, on this review, I will post the link to my eBay thing, the auction, so that this way you can see when the auction is ending and how much the auction is going to be worth. So you know, we'll try to figure it out, and what I'll do is I'll ship it regularly, or if you want rush shipping, whatever. But you know what, I'm not worried about getting a buyer for this. If you're not interested in it, I'll already have sold it on eBay, so I'm not even worried. But I'm not doing international shipping, because I heard that last time when those Chinese people, you remember my video, when they bought all of those iPhones, they tried to ship them all to China, but the PRC government was actually stopping those shipments at the border. So if you're planning on buying one of these things or two of these things and you're planning on selling them, keep in mind the government itself over there in China, you can't trust them. Not only are they manipulating the currency and lying about their stock market, but on top of that, they will do things just like that. Like, they'll pop up out of nowhere and they'll make it so that you can't ship certain things to China. Like, I remember when I was living there, if you wanted to ship CDs back, they wouldn't allow you to ship CDs back unless they were in a bag with you, because I guess there was something about espionage. They wanted to make sure nobody was making videos of the government and what they were doing and shipping them out of the country. So that's basically it for now. I'm gonna upload this video, and then I'm going to I'll put the link on my eBay auction when, you know, stuff starts moving, when stuff starts shipping. So, you know, I'll probably make about $500 or $600 profit or whatever, but I'm not really worried about it, because I'm really excited about having a 4K video. I started making a video about the Mercedes S-Class interior, but I never actually finished that video. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? It would be really cool if I did the video of one of our S-Classes, if I did it in 4K instead of doing it in 1080p. So basically on this video, I'm going to post what little part of that video that I did. And then on the next video, I'm going to make car videos from now on with iPhone's 4K. And the only downside is the 4K that they're offering is only 30 frames per second. The 1080p 60 frames per second that I'm used to at this point on the 6, in my opinion, looks so realistic that hopefully that 4K video with 30 frames per second looks just as good. But we won't know until, you know, the 25th. So just stay tuned and you'll see what's what once I see what's what. Okay, so this is a Mercedes W222 S-Class. And as you can see, the one that we got has pretty much all of the major features. Multi-contour seats, it has a white tan interior, kind of like cashmere and everything. And, you know, it has the AMG Sport Edition wheels. And it's a really, really good looking car. Now, my thing is, a lot of people like to argue with me. See, I get in arguments all the time about what's the best way to spend $100,000 or the best way to buy a luxury car lease. Some people say, oh yeah, well, why would you get that when you could just get a Tesla?
You know, I like the Tesla Model S. Yes, not having to pay for gas is a good thing. The only problem is $100,000 buys you a far better interior than Tesla's prepared to put in their car. And the simple fact of the matter is, the Tesla Model S really should be compared against the Audi A7, because the Model S comes closest to the Audi A7 in overall structural design, and it also comes closest in price. When you talk about the P85D, the P85D comes closest to the Audi S7. And then there's, of course, the P85D, which is the one everybody wants because it's so fast. Unfortunately, no matter how they try to slice it, and no matter how much the Tesla fanboys try to downplay it, the P85D is a $135,000 car. Now, you can argue with me and say, oh yeah, well, the $7,500 tax credit makes it cheaper. The thing about it is not everybody qualifies for that, especially if you don't have the alternative minimum tax. People who pay AMT are going to have to pay that $7,500. They're not going to get that back from the government. Furthermore, you almost have to ask yourself, why is it that the government is subsidizing toys for rich people? I mean, a P85D is $135,000. Nobody can afford to buy that unless you're rich. So why is it that we're subsidizing rich people to drive in HOV lanes whenever they feel like it, while the rest of us have to sit in traffic? Why are we subsidizing rich people to be able to park in the hybrid-only parking spaces on liberal studies campuses where normally only handicapped people would have been able to park? To me, that just doesn't make sense. You're subsidizing rich people to buy toys that the average person can't afford. That's like putting a tax credit on a Bugatti Veyron. Nobody can afford one. Now, $135,000 is slightly easier to come by than $2.9 million, as in that new Bugatti Chiron. But the thing about it is, the average American can't afford that. Where's the affordable electric car that we were promised? You mean the Tesla Model 3, which is going to be a small car sold closer to $50,000? They said 35, but I really don't think it's going to be $35,000. I think when all is said and done, I think it's going to be a hell of a lot more than $35,000. So my bottom line is this: if you're spending $100,000, rich people aren't stupid. If they're going to spend that kind of money, if they're going to lease a car that costs $1,500 a month, obviously you're going to want something that's extremely comfortable and something that rides really, 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 really smooth on the road. The S-Class is the car that you're basically going to have to look at. Right now, the S-Class, which I'm proud to say, is kicking the asses of the like, Audi can't sell enough A8s to equal the S-Class. BMW can't sell enough 7s. And that's just what it is. So this is the car that you really want to look at when you want to get ready to spend that money. The sheer size of the S-Class is what makes everybody love it. I don't understand why it's such a hard thing for the rest of these car manufacturers to simply make a car big enough for big people. I just don't get it. I mean, the thing about it is the Jaguar XJ that we had leased before was a great car, but the problem was the roofline was too low, which meant that taller people, bigger people just aren't very comfortable in it. Now, if you're a small person who's shorter than 6 feet tall, the Jaguar XJ is not a bad car because, you know, you fit in it, you're comfortable in it, etc., etc. The problem comes in the front seat and the back seat when you're dealing with more than, you know, when you're dealing with a bunch of people, and tall people especially, you're going to run into space issues. Now, fortunately, the W222's price starts at $100,000, but it quickly depreciates. You can get a W222 for less than $60,000 certified pre-owned if you really, really want one. This is easily, strangely enough, Mercedes understands how to make a car. They don't compromise. They put a V8 engine in. There's no compromise. They make excellent fit and finish interiors. Looks fantastic. Looks great. And because of that, it's like they just can't go wrong. This car is easily more luxurious than a Rolls-Royce Phantom. And some people are going to argue with me, like, oh, you're stupid, a Rolls-Royce Phantom is the Rolls-Royce Phantom and the Bentley Continental, they're really not that much better than an S-Class, because the S-Class, strangely enough, offers so much more at such a lower price, which is part of the reason why Mercedes had to get rid of Maybach. They couldn't sell Maybachs at $350,000 because the Maybachs were basically S500s that were guzzied up to $350, and they just weren't worth it. Meanwhile, the S550 W221 came out with more technology, better seats, better comfort, and blew the Maybachs away. And that was brilliant planning on the part of Mercedes. And now if you try to get a Maybach, now what you're buying is an S600. And the S600s are basically rebadged Maybachs. They're really Mercedes S-classes that are stretched a little bit longer for the limo livery companies. And their Maybach badge is just slapped on them. So, you know what? Without further ado, let's just go for a ride.